You should never judge a person by their appearance. Unfortunately, one mom had to learn this the hard way. After mocking a dirty man in a store, he revealed his true identity to her, making her regret every word. Now people are passing his story along to spread this important message. Andy Ross of Washington State was picking up a few things at the grocery store after work one day when he noticed a little girl staring at him. He had only been in the store for a minute, but knew he was legitimately dirty after his long day. Working in the woods has a way of doing that to you, but Andy wasn't thinking too much about his appearance when he ran inside to grab a few things. Then, to his shock and dismay, he heard the little girl's mother whisper to her, "That is why you need to stay in school," she said, obviously believing Andy was a failure based simply on the fact that he was dirty. She was about to eat her words as Andy served up a heaping dose of reality. Taking to Facebook to share the story, Andy explained exactly how he completely blew the woman's preconceived notions out of the water as he revealed his true identity to this obviously ignorant woman. "So I had a very interesting educational conversation with a woman and her daughter today," Andy began. "As I entered the store before I got home, a little girl kept staring at me, which is fine. I know that kids are curious when they see someone, especially as dirty as I was," he explained, cutting the kid some slack. However, her mother's remark would be a different story. "They ended up in front of me as I was checking out," Andy continued, speaking of the child and her mother. "Little girl still staring, her mother told her to stop staring. As they finished and headed towards the door, I hear her mom say quietly to the little girl, 'That is why you need to stay in school.' I figured this was a great time to educate this mother and her 7/8-year-old daughter." Then Andy outlined the conversation he had with the woman who decided to judge him so harshly over the way he looked, detailing every word he had for her. "First, I happen to be a very educated dirty man. I not only have a high school diploma, I also have a college degree and many medical certifications," he told the woman, who was likely clutching onto her child for dear life at that point. "So, assuming that I am uneducated because of my appearance is actually quite ignorant in itself," he added. "Secondly, if you are telling your daughter to stay in school because I have tattoos up and down my arms, that will actually suppress her creativity and potentially hinder her imagination as she develops," he informed the woman. "Again, contradictory to your point, ma'am, I am proud of my tattoos and artwork that Forrest Bateman put on my body. It's a representation of my pride in my country and my service over multiple combat tours as a special operations medic." Andy wasn't done there either. "Third, if you're referring that statement to the hat I'm wearing because it features an elk, you might not understand it. I happen to co-own Evergreen State Outdoors and am proud to own an outdoors company and support my rights to hunt and responsibly be a gun owner," he continued. "Finally, I chose to work in a construction industry. I am proud to say that I am a part of building America, and I enjoy my job every day. I tried working a desk job when I got out of the service, and it wasn't for me. I enjoy working with my hands and being outdoors. Subsequently, it comes with being dirty some days. I make good money, have benefits, and am able to provide for my family without issue," he declared. "So, my appearance reflects nothing to do with my level of intelligence or pursuing a higher level of education," he concluded, and it seems that the woman had nothing else to say. She had said plenty when she criticized a hard-working American for having some remnants of a day's honest work on his clothes. Mind you, this was a grocery store, not a five-star restaurant. So a little soil on the shopper should have been none of this woman's concern. Andy's post is a reminder of something we've all heard before, but too often fail to remember. Never judge a book by its cover. Yes, first impressions are important, and this is not an excuse to not try to put your best foot forward. However, we all have our story to tell, and you never know why that disheveled person might look the way they do. Quite simply, don't make assumptions and don't be rude. Maybe if more people read this important lesson, the world would be a kinder place. You should never judge a person by their appearance. Andy Ross's story resonated with many people after it went viral, as it highlighted the importance of respect, humility, and not jumping to conclusions based on appearances. The woman at the store had no idea who Andy was or what he had accomplished in life, but she made an instant judgment based on his dirty clothes and tattoos. It's a scenario many hardworking individuals face daily, often being judged for how they look rather than the character they possess. Andy's calm and composed response also serves as a powerful reminder of how we can address ignorance and prejudice without anger or hostility. Instead of lashing out or insulting the woman, he took the opportunity to teach both her and her daughter a valuable lesson. He wasn't defensive, but rather used the moment to break down stereotypes, showing that education and success aren't limited to one type of appearance. The fact that Andy was a special operations medic with multiple combat tours only made his story more impactful. Here was a man who had risked his life for his country, served with distinction, and then came home to build a successful career, yet he was still judged because he was dirty after a long day of work. His service and sacrifice were invisible to the woman in the store, but they became evident when he explained his background. This story also sheds light on the assumptions many people make about professions like construction work. Andy pointed out that working in the trades is often viewed with less respect than white-collar jobs, even though tradespeople play a vital role in building the infrastructure we all depend on. His pride in his work was clear, and he made it known that just because someone works with their hands doesn't mean they aren't intelligent, educated, or successful. Social media users who came across Andy's post were quick to praise him for the way he handled the situation. Many shared similar experiences of being judged for their appearance or line of work, showing that this kind of prejudice is far too common. Andy's story inspired countless others to think twice before making assumptions about the people they encounter. What's more, Andy's tattoos, which the woman might have judged as rebellious or unprofessional, were actually a tribute to his military service and personal pride. For many people, tattoos are a form of self-expression and a way to tell their own story. Andy's body art was a symbol of his patriotism and the challenges he had faced, but to the woman in the store, they were just marks that made him look less respectable. By the end of the encounter, it was clear that the woman was embarrassed, but hopefully she and her daughter learned a valuable lesson. Andy wasn't looking for an apology or validation, but he knew that speaking up was necessary to correct the misinformation being passed on to the next generation. After all, the daughter was learning from her mother's example, and it was important to show her a different perspective. This story serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of passing judgment on others. Appearances can be deceiving, and making assumptions about someone based on how they look can lead to embarrassing and hurtful situations. Andy's experience is a testament to the fact that you never truly know someone's story until you take the time to listen. In today's world, where social media often amplifies shallow judgments and snap opinions, Andy's story stands out as a beacon of thoughtfulness and perspective. His decision to post about the encounter was not to shame the woman, but to spread a message that he hoped would resonate with others. Judging people based on superficial things like dirt, tattoos, or clothing only serves to limit our understanding of the rich and varied experiences each person carries. Ultimately, Andy's story reminds us all to be kinder and more open-minded. It challenges us to see beyond what's on the surface and to treat everyone with the dignity and respect they deserve. It's a message worth sharing, and as more people read about Andy's experience, the hope is that it will inspire others to reflect on their own actions and attitudes.